We're going to get started with talking back. So this is like a huge problem with kids because they just want a smart mouth. What's going on? Hi, Brandy. How are you? They just want to come back at you with things you really don't want them to come back at. And then, like, what are you going to do? Besides get so irritated you want to smack them. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So number one, guys, and I tell you this in a lot of broadcasts, calm is key. So you remaining calm through this, as much as you'd like to kill your kids when they smart mouth to you or they talk back to you, you really need to stay calm, because calm really breeds more calm. Chaos breeds more chaos. Hi, Dee. But when you're calm, your kids are more apt to be calm as well. Okay? So really, regardless of how angry you are, try to stay calm. All right. Number two, the stress factor. So there's usually a lot of it. A lot of stress going on. Maybe you've had a bad day at work. Maybe they've had a bad day at school. Maybe they're just not feeling good. They're under the weather. Maybe somebody didn't get a good night's sleep. There's all kinds of things that can cause that stress. There are triggers. They're hungry. They're tired. They're thirsty. All kinds of triggers and things that cause any of us to get irritable. So try to figure, thank you for sharing, Dee. I so appreciate it. Try to figure out what the triggers are, or maybe what's happening at the moment that could be causing this kind of behavior. And maybe you can remedy the trigger and then remedy the behavior, okay, if you can figure it out. All right. Number three. Now, these things I'm going to ask you directly. Hi, Dana. So these things are, do you speak respectfully? Do you smile? Do you use your manners? Do you model the behavior that you want your children to do? You have to be the role model, and you have to be the voice of calm and reason and smiling and manners. You have to do that, to speak calmly, to speak respectfully, so that your children will learn to do that too. Okay? Number four, and this is vitally important, when they speak calmly, when they speak respectfully to you, no matter how upset you are, no matter how mad you are, you have got to praise them. This is like key in the process, because they're looking for attention. So if the only attention they're getting is from their negative behavior, they will continue that negative behavior. But if they're getting attention for the good things they're doing, when they're really trying to speak nicely, if you're giving them attention for that and not the other, they will start doing that more often than not, because that's what's giving them your attention. And that's what they're doing the whole thing for anyways, to get your attention. Now, if they talk back, if they say some obnoxious thing, whatever it is they're saying, say, I'll be happy to speak to you when you can speak nicely to me. And then walk away. Give them no more attention. You can even get to the point where you've said that so much, you can look at them, go, try that again, and walk away. Do not give them attention when they are speaking nasty, they're whining, they're whatever they're doing. Don't give them the attention. All you need to say is try it again. Talk nicely. Talk with a smile. Whatever you want to say to them to get them to communicate to you nicer, say it and then walk away. I'll be happy to talk to you when you can speak nice to me. And then go do something. Just totally ignore them. Because then they're not getting the attention that they are trying to get. Then if they come up to you and they do speak nicely, make a huge deal. Basically be like, oh my gosh, that was like such a nice way to say that. I really appreciate you talking nicely to me. So, how can I help? What can I do? Really encourage the conversation. Praise them, praise them, praise them when they are doing the behavior that you want them to do. Whether it's talking, whether it's sharing, whether it's cleaning up their stuff, whatever they are doing, if it is a behavior that you want to encourage, then praise them. Always give them the attention of the behavior you want. Even though I know, guys, it's hard. I know when they're being like obnoxious, they're talking back, they're saying things that you can't believe are coming out of their mouth. I know it's easy to just fly off the handle and scream and yell, but that is giving them attention, even if it's negative attention. So all you need to say is, try that again. Let's hear you try that again. Or I'll talk to you when you can talk to me nicer. I don't speak to you like that. I don't expect you to speak to me like that, and walk away. No attention. Little attention as possible. Hi, Phil. Okay. Don't take it personally, guys. Don't take it personally. Kids, toddlers are growing up, okay? They're gaining that independence. With the gain of their independence, they are going to test limits. They are going to voice their little opinions. They are going to try to become like a human being with a personality. The thing is, if a personality turns ugly, you need to address it and ignore it. Walk away, okay? But don't take it personally. They're just spreading their wings. They're just seeing how far they can take this whole thing because it's all so new to them. And maybe they went to daycare and they heard some kid wise mouth to the teacher or to them. Or maybe they were in preschool and some kid was being really smart, or they were in, nursery school or kindergarten or wherever they go, and they learned it from somewhere else. The thing is, they can learn it from somewhere else, but it's your job to nip it in the butt. I mean, really, and you have got to be consistent with this. If they're whining all the time and you've had it with the whining, you've got to get them to speak nicely. You talk with a smile, you use your manners, and encourage them to do the same. And if they don't, refuse to talk to them and walk away. If they are whining all the time, and you have got to be consistent. Every time they whine, you walk away. Every time they speak nasty, you walk away. Do not give them their response, what they're looking for, if they are not talking to you in a kind, respectful way. You speak to them respectfully, they will learn to speak to you respectfully. Okay, now what about consequences? Well, what if they're not stopping and you need to have some consequences? Well, then sit down with them and have a conversation. Say, you know what? Honestly, you haven't been talking very nicely to mom or dad or anyone. And, you really need to start talking nicely, because I've had it for the last few days. I'm ready to scream. Honestly, you're making me crazy. So we're going to set up some consequences and ask them, what do you think, if you were the mommy, what do you think I should do if you come up and you talk mean to me again? What should I do? And they might say nothing. They might say, I may need a 2-minute timeout, or I may need a timeout. Or maybe, I get my toys taken away, or, whatever they come up with. So make sure the punishment fits the crime. We've talked about consequences before. Make sure the punishment fits the crime. So don't make it totally bizarre and outrageous. It has nothing to do with what happened. If they speak nasty to you, then maybe they do get a timeout and they're not allowed to talk for 2 minutes until they can talk nicely, and you set a timer. And if they agree to the timeout, then when they go to speak like that, you will see that they will start catching themselves, because they know that if they speak like that, they're getting a timeout for 2 minutes. So in the back of their head, they're like, okay, well, I could speak nasty to mom or dad, but they're going to put me in a timeout for 2 minutes. So do I really want to do this? And what you might start seeing is they'll start to speak nasty and then they will catch themselves and change the way they're talking. And when that happens, guys, and it will happen if you stay consistent, praise them. Praise them, praise them, praise them for the fact that they were able to catch themselves and fix it themselves without you interfering. Really make a big deal of that, because that is what you want. You want them to ultimately think before they act, think before they talk, think before they scream, think before they grab a toy, think before they whine. That's what you want to teach them to do. That is how you teach them to self-regulate themselves. You want them to think before they act. And when they do, and they will, if you stay consistent, praise them, praise them, praise them. And then start having weekly family meetings, guys, so that you can talk about it. You can sit down at a family meeting and say, you know what, guys, honestly, you guys have not been talking nicely. So what are some ideas we could come up with to try to get us to speak better? You guys have not been cleaning up your room. You're supposed to clean up your room. What are some things we can do to have you clean up your room more often? And these things will happen because you are including them in the growing up and parenting process. They're becoming a part of their behaviors and their consequences. And when you do that, number one, you empower them. Number two, they start thinking before they act. Number three, they feel like a contributing part of their family and they're not just being bossed around. It really works great. But I really recommend you have weekly family meetings, okay? All right. Any questions on any of this? Give me a question if you have a question on any of this. And guys, if you really want to really fine tune that positive parenting, which is what I call it, because basically you're working on the positive, not the negative. You're removing the negative and really reinforcing the positive. I have a great positive parenting academy. If you go to pumpedupparenting.com, it's on special pricing. Grab it while you can. And if you put in the coupon code Christmas, you will get 10% off. Okay? Put in the coupon code Christmas for 10% off on any of the programs online. But it's called the Positive Parenting Academy. And 10% off with the coupon code Christmas. But it really will get everything in line to help you positively parent your children. Okay, so I hope this helped you. Here's your 8 tips again. Calm is key. Stay calm. Figure out the stress factors. What is causing the stress that is causing your child to react that way? What are the triggers? Have they had a good day, bad day? Have you had a good day, bad day? Are you speaking respectfully? When their speech is kind or their behavior is kind, compliment them and praise them. If they talk back, remember to say, I'll be happy to talk to you when you can talk nicer to me, and walk away. Don't take it personally. Consequences can be established with you and your child together, and discuss it all at a family meeting. Those are your 8 tips, guys. And in the meantime, what is today? Thursday? So I'll be back here next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 9 p.m. And in the meantime, you'll see me around the web. If you're interested in that Positive Parenting Academy, again, it's at pumpedupparenting.com. The word Christmas will get you 10% off. All right, guys. So I'll see you here again. Join me and Pumped Up Parenting around the web. Have lots of peace, love, and tons of laughter. It really is the best medicine. And I'll see you here next time on Facebook. Bye, everybody.